Screen ready for ClickUp today.
Yes. Let me get it up.
All right. So since yesterday, do you have any? Were you able to practice ClickUp, and do you have any questions that you'd like us to start with?
No, I didn't even practice yesterday. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but what we did yesterday was direct and yeah, was yeah. I still have to practice more. But I was able to pick some few things. A lot of.
All right. That's cool. Okay. So let's not spend too much time on the background. Let's just go to the AI features that we started yesterday, or the automate and agents. Those are the ones that we want to discuss today. And
Okay.
depending on how soon we finish them, we can back to we can start discussing the final chapter when I can start explaining details of taking on a project and things like that. So let's see how soon we can complete it. So the first thing we want to do is let's start with the automations. Yeah,
Okay.
let's start with automation. So the automations, that button there says automate. If you have any automations going, you will
Mhm.
see numbers there that will show the number of automations that you have. But right now, what you have there doesn't have any automation. So let us create an automation. Go ahead. Okay, can you zoom in? It looks like I'm seeing like half of your screen. I'm not sure if it is from me or from you. No, sorry, not zoom in, like zoom out. I am seeing your screen in like very rectangular. Okay, I guess this is better. Okay, so as you can see on the left, you have the trigger,
Mm,
and on the right, you have the action, right?
yeah. Mhm.
So the automation basically means that if something happens here, uh, take this action. Now, on that trigger, you can see the options. There's an option to the right of the trigger that says tasks or subtasks. Depending on the automation that you want, you can click on that drop down. You should be able to select whether it's only tasks, whether it's only subtasks. Not that one. The one to the right of the trigger. Go to the trigger. All right. So you can select whether the action takes place on a task, whether it takes place on a subtask, or
Okay.
whether it takes place on both of them. Uh, I'm seeing, trying to see if I have an example right off the bat, but it's fine. I guess that's clear enough. So you can select, I think you should choose tasks, maybe choose tasks so that you don't have too much. Okay, so the next item below the trigger is task created. So that's a drop down. That is the trigger. Go to, you have selected that the trigger only happens for tasks. We are on
Mhm.
action. We are still on trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the trigger that takes place? That's there's a drop down there. So what action do you want to take place? So if you leave it as task created, it means that whenever you create a task, the action you choose will take place. If you leave it, if you select custom field changes, it means you create a custom field, you know, someone enters a detail or someone activates it. You can select any of them. You can select status change. That means if your status changes from, yeah, so it says So if you select status change, it now says the status changes from whatever this status to that status. So you can select any of them. It will show
Okay.
you it will show you your active statuses. So if it changes from any status, be I think there should be a drop down in front of each of them. There's a drop down in front of the active status. Yeah, so you can expand them and select whichever status you want to use. Or you can also select, because it's a box, you can select multiple
It's just
statuses.
this in progress that is there.
Yeah, but basically, in the event that you have several statuses there, you can select more than one. That's why you
Okay.
have statuses. Now, if it changes from in progress to any other status, maybe to closed, or if it changes from not started to in progress, that will most likely be better, right? So maybe you have a task that has not started yet. You can close if you select the not started, that's the to do. Then
Mhm.
that means deactivate the active. Good. So if the task goes from to do to active, meaning in progress, so you've started working on it, right?
Mhm.
It takes an action. That is another option. You can add several conditions at once.
Okay.
So it has to meet
Okay.
all of the conditions. It has to
And
meet
if
all of those conditions.
okay,
Exactly.
this
So you see, and if this condition, so it has to meet, if you add more than one condition, you are looking at a task that will meet several conditions before it takes a specific action. So again, all of this is just to make sure that you don't go and generalize an automation for every single activity,
mm,
right? So it helps you to specify. So maybe a task is now in progress, or if, for instance, there is what's it called now? You're working on a software development project, right? And then your task goes from maybe in development to in testing. Once the task goes to testing, that feature will usually be reassigned to the tester,
yeah.
right? So once those two things happen, you can now create a subtask. You can automate creating a subtask so that maybe the process for the checklist for checking the task is going to be generated, something like that. You understand? So anyway, yeah, so you have status change. Okay, so go to the action. Now, once status change happens, uh, select that drop down. So scroll down and let's look at all the options that we have. Scroll down. You can say send a channel message. Go back up a little bit here. So you can decide to send a channel message or a direct message, basically notifying you that something has happened.
Okay.
You understand? So maybe I
Mm,
can I can decide to uh, create an automation for my section of a project. Maybe I'm not the only one working on the project, but I can decide to create an automation so that once it gets to my section, maybe there's a certain status that it gets to, or a certain task that will be created. Once it creates it, aspect of the project, and that task has been assigned to me, I get a notification immediately to go and check it out and work on it. You get? So you can also create a subtask. Maybe you see it, create a list, create a subtask, create a task. I would say use the send a message, a channel message. Good. The message should say, you type the message. Look at it. You can type in whatever message you want it to say. You can say maybe you have been assigned a task or something like that. Or the task is now in progress. So which fields do you want the task to show? So enter task name. Okay, look at this. Backspace, delete everything. Delete everything that you type now. So start from the task. Just type the task.
The
The
tax.
task. Uh, just type it. Task space. Now click on task name. Is now in progress. Do you see what we have done there? So whenever it
Yes.
sends in progress, yeah,
Yeah.
whenever it sends a message, it will tell you specifically
The
which
tax
task
name.
that is now in progress. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now select the channel, go scroll down and select the channel for the project that you're speaking to. Maybe I think, what channel are we in now? TeamSpace something. New TeamSpace, have you? You're in new TeamSpace channel. So select that channel. Good. Assignee. The assignee doesn't have access to this task. That will be you. So create that. That's a simple automation, right? So if you close it, close this interface, you'll see that your automation now, it is no longer showing automation, it's showing the number of automations you have running.
Okay.
Now go to TeamSpace and create a task on one of your lists. No, that's TeamSpace now. Don't leave the place where we were before. You are on TeamSpace, not this training space.
Space.
Yes, that's where you created the automation.
Okay.
So go to your list and create a task. Okay, just in fact, you have tasks already in to do,
Mhm.
right? Just rename that task two. Go to
I
task
should.
two, the one that is in to do.
Okay. I should name it.
Rename rename it or make it something. Just you can rename it if you like. Make it, give it a specific name so that you remember to the specific task that you use. Good. Now it's time to test your automation, right?
Okay.
So the automation says if it goes from to do to in progress, it's going to send a channel message,
Okay.
right? Now change the status from to do to in progress. So let's see if you get a message on your channel. Scroll up to inbox. Let's see. Check your inbox. Oh, there's inbox and then there's chat. Check the chat. So what does it say? Do you have any messages in your chat? Just check. Okay, yeah, that's it. Channels, new team space,
Yeah.
task, stakeholders, identification is now in progress.
Follow up. This
Makes
follow
sense.
up.
Yeah.
There's another one here saying follow ups.
Oh, you can click on it. Let's see what it says.
Okay.
Follow
It
up.
just it
What do you want
just
to follow with?
is the message directly.
To you.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
That is why it asks who this is assigned to. So it didn't only send the message. You'll see it in your inbox too. That's it. It won't only send the message. It won't send the message randomly. It will send the message and specifically tag the person that message was assigned to. You understand? Because this is a team space. It's not your personal DM,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
If it's a team space, so once you drop a message in the team space, you have to identify who is this message for. That is why it says specifically say who this message was sent to. In fact, you
Okay.
can go back to that automation and add a direct message. That's it now. Click on it. Oh, not chat automations. Go back to go out of this place. Back to the project. Yes. Go back to the list. Looks like there's a separate automation command for your charts. We are going to explore that right now. But go to that automation that you have created.
That's what I'm trying to go to. Okay.
Good. So that is it.
Where's it?
Click on it. That's it there. The one at the bottom. Yes. Add under action. Go down and add a new automation. No, scroll down to the bottom.
Under
No, no.
action.
Yeah, under action. Good. Add a new automation. So select that drop down, the one that says add to current sprint. So scroll down. Yeah, see it. Send a direct message. You can also receive a direct message.
To where? To email. Or where?
No, it's most likely going to be within your workspace, just not to your. Let's check if it's going to be. Let's check if it's going to send to the email. I'm not entirely sure. Select the user, save. So go and you have added two actions, right? So go and select another task and do the same again. You can move the task back to do, or you can just select another one.
Okay.
You can select task 3. Okay, so you have a message in the chat. I assume that this one is going to send you, instead of sending it to the team channel, okay, it will do both. It will send to both the team channel.
Yeah. It sends both. It sends both.
So open that chat. We should see both the team chat and your own personal DM. Okay, there it is. It has sent you a personal DM too.
Mm.
So you see, it has sent a team space saying that task PID has been created. It has also sent you a direct message to Chidebere Emmanuel on the left. Have you seen it?
On the left?
Yes, not here. Go to the left side of your screen.
Okay.
It has also sent you a direct message. So you
Okay.
can decide whether you want to automate this notification for the team space for everybody on the team to see it, or whether you want it to notify only you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so you see that this works just like Slack, basically. Have you used Slack before?
No.
What messaging application have you used before? Teams?
Teams, yes.
Yeah, so it works like Teams too.
Okay, this is cool.
Okay, so I guess you can go back and try maybe one more automation. That's just one out of a million automations. There was one more thing that we saw, right, that we wanted to check out. Go back to that. No, under that messaging, go to chat. Go to chat. There was an automation that was there. Uh, go to TeamSpace. Yeah, select this automate that is here. No, at the top of your screen.
This one.
Yes. So it is showing differently as if there is a separate automation for just messaging.
Okay.
Yeah. So click on this chat automations. Click on create automations. That first one. I see. So it has automation specifically just for the messaging. Okay, so click on that message is posted. So if someone posts a message, what should happen, right? Or do you want it to be every what was it called? You want to set a sequence of activities. So maybe if someone posts a message, notify the channel that something has happened. Scroll down, select that send channel message. Click the drop down. Scroll down.
This is all of it.
Those are all the options you have. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. So maybe when someone sends a message, it notifies you. Now go back to that message is posted under the trigger. Select that every. Okay, so this is if you want to create a routine message. For instance, maybe everybody is supposed to meet at a certain time every Monday. So you can schedule this message, right? And say, maybe send a reminder to the team that everybody should remember to do something. Maybe you can even insert a link so that everybody will be able to use a certain document and things like that. Then whoever you want to assign it to, you can select all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a separate automations for the chats alone. Okay. So you can go back to the project, or the list you're working on. So I'm not sure how many automations you can add using the free version. Yeah, but you can add, maybe you go and attempt another automation. The possibilities are endless. You can just go to your automations and add a new one. Yeah, you can add whatever you want. Do something, close it first. I want to see those options that you have here. Those options you have under automation. Just click the automation. So it says auto assign, auto something. There are some options that you put there before you create. Okay, categories,
Can,
integration.
can I try the automation for a tax instead of message?
Yes, what you did right now is automation for a task now.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I want to like some create like a sub tax.
Oh, okay, go ahead. So maybe when a task does something happens to a task, it should create a subtask,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's total. Go ahead and try.
Say tax create create.
Is it when a task is created or when something happens to the task? If it's
When
about a
something
task,
when something happens to the tax.
okay, so click that task created drop down. That's where your options are, not that one. The task created itself. So that's where all the other options are. So maybe if something changes,
Okay, yeah. If we should say this goes to this all completed action create the subtask.
do you want to create a subtask when it has been completed? Why don't you create the task when it's in progress?
No, like I want to like
You don't want to
create
check it out and see what happens, right?
yes. I want yes.
Because normally, once the task is completed, it's completed. You don't want to be creating a subtask at that point.
Um
So scroll back up. Scroll back up. So this is not the option that you want now. You want to create a subtask, right? Not create a task. Or do
I
you
want
want to
to
create?
create. I want to paint a scenario like if if the kickoff meeting is completed,
Aha.
then do something else like create a task for like review or review current model, something like that.
Okay. I mean, the
I'm
thing
just okay.
I understand. So you want to create a follow-up task after that task.
Yes.
The thing is this, for you to do something specifically like that, you have to use agents. You know why?
Okay.
This will create a task. This will
Okay.
create a follow-up, right?
Mm.
But it can't
Yeah.
be as specific as that. So if you want to specify that um maybe uh once a meeting is completed, send notification to what's it the team, or send a summary to the team or stuff like that. That
Mm-hmm.
is, you are specifically mentioning which task itself you want it to follow up on.
Mm.
You understand? But what
Yeah.
we have in the one is generic. If anything happens to a task, this task within this space, do this. You
Okay.
understand? So if that's what you want to do, you can still do it. You can still create a task, but you cannot be that specific. I don't know
Okay.
if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get
Because
you.
I specified that you want it to do a follow-up action, but have you specified in the trigger that you want it to do it after a specific task?
I get you. I get you now.
Yeah. But if you still try this, you can definitely create a task. Go ahead. It's asking you now to enter the task name, maybe a description.
If I just put the name here,
Yeah.
okay. I don't think it's gonna make sense because if every other task that is not that specific one that I want to complete, it's still gonna create the same thing. So it doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not gonna make any
Exactly.
sense.
So if you move every other task to completed, it will create the exact same task. That is what I am
Yeah.
saying. So you cannot specify that do it for only this specific task.
Mm.
You get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe when we get to what I'm thinking is when we get to agents, we'll try
Okay.
doing something like that, where we will give the agent a list and say, whenever any action on this list has been completed, create the next task. You get.
Yeah.
So you can try something else. You can always try something else. Maybe create a subtask instead of a task. Yeah. What task triggered this action? Okay, here you can now select which task do you want to trigger this action. You didn't get this option when you wanted to create a task, did you?
No.
You didn't. Yeah. So you can select which one is it. Create PID, anyone. What do you want the subtask to be named? Give it a name, give it details, everything that you want to give it. You even have the option of using templates. Give it a name now. Give the subtask a name.
Mm. If
You know where
stakeholder.
the first time I used this automation, we used it for a process. Normally, the safest way to use automations is to have to do in progress and done, right? So that whenever any subtask is created, right, it will also use that same status to do in progress done. But the first time I used the automation, we used it for managing an Airbnb property, right? This person had properties that he rented out for Airbnb. So there was stuff that you do before the person comes, after the person has arrived, and also after the person has left. So at every stage, there are things that you need to do. Before they come, for instance, you check the battery of the door, make sure that it is working. So when the person uses their key card, it lets them in. Stuff like that. you send them a message, giving them the password of the Wi-Fi, all kinds of stuff, right? So for every stage, we had the stage of entry or pre-entry or pre-arrival. Once the task moves, we created statuses like that for each of those stages. So once task moves from to do to pre-arrival, those subtasks are automatically created. You see subtasks for send a message with the welcome message with the Wi-Fi and every other notification. Send this. We basically automated those subtasks for every stage so that you won't forget. So end to end, you get, as long as you are monitoring the task, you see those subtasks. You remember what to do, stuff like that.
Okay.
So all right. Scroll down. Let's see what else. Have you created everything? You didn't want to use any status. You cannot use any template, right? You can select which status you want it to appear as. I think by default it will appear as a to do. So whether you select it or not is fine. That's why they didn't make it compulsory. You can give it a description, select priority. All of these things you can enter if you want. But basically you can just create the subtask. Yeah. Again, these are regular details that you give. Scroll down to those yellow sections. I think that's where the important information is. If this status doesn't exist, create a new status. You can select that create a new status option. What should happen? Skip the app. You can use the first status available or create a new status. If the assignee doesn't have access to the task, this action will be skipped. Place your cursor on that. This action will be skipped. Let's see if it also has an option. There's no option for there. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I guess you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have two automations now. So you can go and create a task and use it to test, or you can move one of those tasks back to do.
This one now. We can move this one to completed. That's just the listen.
Okay, it's completed, right?
Mm.
Yeah, move it to completed. So now you have to view the completed. Scroll up. Go to see at the top of your screen. Select that closed. Exactly. Yeah. So check if it has subtasks within it, or you can just activate the subtasks.
Wait, let me go back to the automation again. Let me even see what I did.
Click on the task itself. No, don't worry. Click on the task. Scroll down. There should be a subtask here. Okay, go back to the automation. Let's check what you did. The second.
It says if you move from to do, no, that
Ah,
one moves from this thing.
yeah. So it didn't go from to do. So move it back to do. Then I see that's why it has the option to let you move from any task to any task. Yeah, your subtask has been created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
So you have to pay attention again. You see that you have to pay attention to the detail. So if you
Mm.
want it to move from any status to completed, that's a different thing. But if you want it to move from a specific status to completed, also a different thing. So yeah. Do you want to try anything else?
No, I think this is okay.
You're clear about it, right?
Yes.
So let's go to agents. Let's go to agents. I only practice agents for a little bit, but I'm sure that we can do
But wait,
something.
I want to confirm something.
Yeah,
Now, if I move this one, let's say this one now,
yeah.
that's one to do.
Yeah,
Remove
it will
this
do the
one.
exact same thing.
I'm not sure it's going to do anything because you know we specified
Because
it could have.
you specify the task is going to trigger it, right?
Yeah, but it still created another assembly project. Mm,
But he created it under that task.
yes,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. It's not a really good
Yeah,
automation. Yeah, I wouldn't use automation for stuff like that.
yeah.
That's,
I'll remove it.
yeah, you can turn it off or you can just go and delete it under your automations.
I'll look at it later then. I'll see if there's any other condition that will make it not to create for any random task.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. So let's check out agents. So agents are they are almost similar to, but they are similar to automations. So click on the create new agent. Click on new agent. The only difference is instead of activating existing features,
Whoa! It
you're
sent me a
using AI.
message. It sent me a message on my email. Oh.
Is it that direct message?
This task that was created now. It sent me
Oh,
a
I see.
message that a task has been assigned to me, which is assembly
That
project team.
assignment project. Oh, I see. So, well, you didn't create that automation, right? That's
I
just a
think I did.
regular.
I think we
Did you
did
create
because
automation to send you a message?
wait, let me see.
I don't think you did.
I assigned someone. I assigned myself as an
Yeah, it's because you're an assignee. So I also get notifications on my tasks. Sometimes when my tasks are running out of time too, maybe the due date is get closer. I also get notifications reminding me that my due date is getting close. I think there's somewhere in the setting where you can make those adjustments too.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we? So I was saying instead of the features that you were turning on and off, right? Instead, for agents, you're communicating with AI, right? So, for instance, this is the one that I wanted us to check out, right? Um, for tasks, select the trigger action. Select tasks. Let's do for tasks. Now, select that task created. Let's see the options that you have. For task created, existing task, comment is added. What I want to do is what you spoke about previously, that when a task is created, or when a task moves from maybe in progress to completed, the following task should be created. I'm trying to see if it's possible for us to do that here. Scroll down, let's see all the options that we have. New task, assignee added, task unblocked. Scroll back up. So it doesn't look like we have that, but this is an interesting feature that we have. No, click on that drop down. Let's not do status change. That's too simple. Now, select that maybe every day or something.
There's a task. There's another one that says tax. Oh, so tax created.
No, those things will change. Right? Once you select
Okay.
it will change to on a schedule, right? This is what you want to happen. Now, weekly on Sunday, select that repeat. You can select the timeline, maybe daily. Let's do daily, right? At a certain time, maybe 8 a.m. Let's select a time that is not far from us. I want to see if it works, how soon it works. Or maybe we'll select the time before we create the agent. It's already past 10 now. It's almost 11. Don't worry, we'll select the time before we create the agent. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the trigger. On schedule, do something. Now go to the action.
Mhm.
What are the actions that we have? Launch the agent, do anything with AI, create a task with AI. So what we want to do is do anything with AI. Go to do anything with AI. So tell it what you want to do, like a what's it called now? A prompt, right? You see the way it has written the prompt. Your role is to remind the employees about HR deadlines, search through the performance review list, identify employees who haven't made their submission, post a message reminding each employee who hasn't yet. So you can literally just say, maybe you want to send an update to your entire team, right? So your role is to send a daily reminder or a daily update about every project to the chat, to the Teams chat, right? So just type out your prompts that way, however you want to do it.
I say your role.
Your role is to send project updates to the team, to the team. Good. So now give it steps to follow. Step one, look through all of the tasks in the workspace.
Step one. I'll write step one like this.
Type one,
I'll just write one.
just type one the way it wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look.
So look through all the projects in the workspace. Do we want to do this for a specific project? Scroll down. Let's see if it asks us to select project. So okay. Just look through the workspace. No need to look through all the projects. Just say look through the workspace. Remove the all. Yeah. Next, two should be compile a list of projects or categorize. Let's say categorize projects in order of completion or something by status. Let's see. Categorize tasks by status. Then number three, maybe identify which tasks are late. Should we do that? Which tasks are late and which ones are not? Should we ask it to do that? I mean, it's fine. What we want to do, maybe number three should be, what if there are no late tasks? I want it to do something. Okay, just say send a summary of the status to the team, to the team's chat. Let's do that. A summary of the project to the team start, to the team chat. This is not the best prompt at all, but yeah. All right. So do you want to reference any tasks? No. So does it want to send it to all, so don't send it to all public spaces. You can toggle that off. The first one, the first checkbox,
This
what
one.
space? Yeah, toggle that off. So it will only work within your team space. So scroll down. Do you want to add any other automation? Not for now. We are still trying this one out. So we're about to create it. Don't create yet. Go and check the time. This is what 10:45. So maybe make it 10:46. Is it 10:46? You should be
No.
able to type in a time. Or you cannot. Okay. So let's do 12 p.m. 12 noon.
12 noon.
That should be 12 p.m. now.
We can do 11 now. 12 noon is still far.
What time is it now? Oh, this is
What,
11. Sorry.
what,
Yeah, let's do 11.
can't we just type it manually?
Yeah, type in manually. I wanted you to type in. So type 47. Yeah, quickly create it. Wait, starting on when?
Oh,
Go back to the one they created just now. That's it at the bottom. It's at the bottom. Do anything with AI. Scroll down. It says starting on Sunday. That's today now. Okay,
yeah.
we are all good. We're all good. You can close it. All right. So it will soon be 10:47. Let's see if you get a message in your Teams chat. We have about 14 before we change links. So where are we? Go to your inbox. You've gotten a message.
No, this one's are the previous ones.
Okay, okay. Let's see. Sample project. Let's see if you get any new message. So 10:47. Do we have any action yet?
Not yet.
Go to your chat. There's a message in your chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there team updates. So it has categorized by status
Mm.
and it has sent you a summary. So it's saying this is now in progress. Scroll down. This is in progress and this is also in progress. So it has basically given you an update about everything that's going on. So you can use these agents for more complex tasks like maybe sending, compiling reports, you know, things like that.
Okay.
That's quite interesting. So let's go back to the agents. You will probably have to delete these agents because otherwise you'll be getting these messages on a daily basis. You should probably deactivate it. Let's see. Let me see. Does it say it's now inactive?
Yes.
So was it only meant to do it once? Go back.
No,
Look at.
I deactivated it now.
Oh, you're the one that deactivated it. Oh, I
Yes.
see. I was wondering why it is inactive. All right. I think you can try other features too, other things using the agents too. It's a million and one things that you can do using it. Right. So the thing about agents is it's going to save you a lot of time. Right? If you know how to use it. Again, it takes some practice, right? But the main difference between agent and automation is that instead of selecting which feature, just tell AI what to do, and it will give you updates, stuff like that. I'm sure it can create templates, it can do anything, a whole lot of things. So, those are the two main features that we wanted to discuss today. We still have some time before the end. Do you want to try some new additional stuff before we move on to the next things that we should be doing?
Um, I will have to just look up some things on how to use the agents well, then try them out later.
Okay, I mean, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so the part about this agent, yeah, the interesting thing about this is this. Um, I think if you know how to use these agents properly, you should probably maybe it's something that you want to call out or indicate on your. Anybody should be able to use agents, by the way. You should be able to indicate it on your resume or something, right? The reason is this. Um, these days, how do I put it? Project management. changing. I think there's a video that I posted on my LinkedIn recently. It's about now that you have things like agents and automations. You saw the way we were able to use AI to create a template yesterday.
Mm.
It is no longer a an impressive skill to say, oh, I can create a template. When you have AI that can do it, you have AI that can complete complex workflows. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, the major skill is, do you know how to use that AI correctly? Do you know how to use agents correctly? And this was the analogy that I used to explain it. You have a farmland, right?
Mm.
And you have a lot of technological equipment. Now, on that farmland, you're trying to hire people to work with you, right? Um, would you hire someone that says, oh, I don't know how to use any of the machines, but I'm very good with a hoe. I can clear this plot of land, I can harvest this amount of land. Is that something that you would be considering when you're hiring people?
No.
Not necessarily, because you most likely have machines that can do a week's worth of work for that guy. You have machines that will maybe do it in 1 hour or 30 minutes,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So the people that will be looking to hire will be people that know how to use the existing machines, right? So superimpose that on your project. Now, what does that mean? You are no longer trying to say, oh, I'm really good at creating templates, at using templates. No, you have AI features, you have automations, you have agents that can do a ton of work, things that would have taken you hours to do. They can do it in seconds, in one split second, right? So you now want to be able to tell whoever it is that is hiring you that, listen, I can save you a lot of time because I know how to use agents. I have used agents. You can now start mentioning the things that you have used agents to create. So you've used agents to create this type of reports or templates that saved you on 1 hour per day or 2 hours per day because it was able to use this information, compile this information, was able to use that information to do something else. In fact, you can use an agent to create an action and use another agent to retrieve information from that action to complete another activity. You understand? Because you don't
Yeah.
need one agent to do everything together. The way you have created this summary now, this project summary, you can have another agent compile this summary, use it to compile a list of next steps. But of course, you can always do that with one agent because you can add, more things, additional things below it, below that action. But either way, you can speak to being able to save time, save resources because of the tools that you know how to use. You understand? Because now
Yeah.
that is what makes you a better project manager, not just the tools that not just the that you know how to use the tools. It is that you now know how to use agents to execute those actions. Our focus now is no longer on which tool can you use. It is what is the purpose of those tools to begin with. If an agent can use those tools faster than you, let it use it. If an agent can complete the action without needing those tools, you also have to let go of those tools. So again, that's the whole process behind it. So I am hoping that you'll be able to use the principles that we've learned, that you'll be able to combine it with your use of ClickUp, with also agents and automations when you're working on your project. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I'm hoping that you'll be able to compile all of that so that, you know, like I told you, you are going to be hard boiled by the time you leave. It's fine. So, do you have any questions now? Before the end of the hour, I think I can take one or two questions before we start discussing the next chapter, uh, taking on a project.
Um, no, I don't have any question. I think I just need to go through this thing first. Well, then if I have any difficulty, then I can just pop it up.
Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to send you two documents. I'm going to send you two documents now.
The other project management tools like Trello and Rex, they all follow almost like the same sequence now, the same kind of
Yes.
AI thing. Yeah.
But ClickUp is the most detailed amongst them. ClickUp has the most features.
Okay.
ClickUp has the most, so most of them also have AI features. I think even before there was AI, I was already using automations in Asana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I used the first automations. So yeah, I mean, all of those, they have similar features, but none of them can compare to ClickUp. I'm sending you a document now. Okay, it's one document I'm sending to you. Check your WhatsApp. You'll see a document I just sent to you. It's a breakdown of your week 1 to week 6 for your project delivery. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically a list of things that you'll be doing. It's all of those tools, all of these tools that you'll be using to manage all of the activities basically throughout the project delivery phase. So you develop the charter, the stakeholder register, all of those things, right? Again, these are not things that are going to take too much of your time.
Okay.
So, um, uh, there's week 1, week 2. Week 2 is when you think that you would have started, development should have commenced in week 2.
Okay.
Development, or at least the tasks, not just development. The tasks should have commenced. So if it is design they want to start, if it is development they want to start, either way, you are monitoring them. And by week 3, you are still executing and monitoring. By week 4, you think that they should have started, quality assurance testing should have already begun at that time. Final sprint, same thing. Week 6, handover, right? So it is just the additional things that you'll be doing on the side, like the notes, the check-in reports, breaking down the tasks, your risk and issue log, and things like that. You'll see that there are also some tasks that are one-time tasks, some are repeat tasks, like the daily stand-up notes, your sprints and assignments, and things like that. Some are repeat tasks. Really direct. I mean, everything that you are seeing on this list is everything that we have discussed so far and that we are still going to discuss, right? So, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I want to ask something. This backlog, what does it entail?
We are going to discuss it. It's one of the interesting things. It's very easy. Let's see. Okay, I remember I explained it to someone else yesterday. So when someone wants to develop a product, right, depending who you are working with, maybe a business analyst or a product owner, right? Okay, let's see if I can explain it in, if time runs out, we'll join the next link. So there's usually a document called a business requirement document. There's also a product requirement document. And what all that means basically is it's a description of what the product is going to look like. You understand? So that document lists, it details the problem we're solving in detail, right? It's not like the charter that is a summary of everything. The problem you're solving, the solution, what the solution looks like. Now, as part of that detail, you have several sections like the description of the requirements, right? The requirements such as, because it's a bank application, it should have a secure login, what's it called now? Access and things. I think I explained these things to you before now. You remember when I explained the concept of the epic using the authentication flow,
Yes.
right? The features and the user stories. A
Yeah.
list of all those epics
Mm,
with all the features and user stories. That's your backlog.
mm.
That's your backlog, right?